How's it going, everybody? We're about to get the show started here today. Thanks for showing up. I'm going to go ahead and send this text message out. That's right. A text message is flying through the air as we speak. A text message from me, your best buddy Basil. And if you want to get text messages from me, you can text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's 877-740-3226. If you text the word Canary to that number, you'll be put on a very special list of people who will never miss a live show again, unless they want to, but it won't be on accident, because we send out a text message alert before every show with all sorts of good stuff. It's got links, it's got capital letters, it's good stuff. And you can text me back. I can't respond to you, but I will see what you text back. So anyways, text the word Canary to 877-740-3226. Let's see. Other than that, you can leave us voicemails. You know this over at CanaryCryNewsTalk.com. The green tab. Click on the tab. You can leave us a pre-show prayer. Give us shout-outs. Do whatever you want to do. It's not my message. It's your message. You decide. What are some other things going on? Oh, you can support the show. You know this, though. But, man, we have not had a lot of action on the Canary Cry Babysitters Club recently. Recently kind of slowed down. I understand. But just so everybody knows, you can. One of the greatest ways that you can support this show is by helping us pay for childcare. Because Gons has children. And these children someday will grow up to be folk legends of the post-apocalyptic wasteland, and we need them to survive until then, if we have any hope of making it. So if you want to help Gonza's children survive long enough so that they can, defeat the robo overlords or whatever with their laser samurai swords, go to CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com. CanaryCrySupplyDrop.com. Sign up for that. And we'll send you a free t-shirt right away, right there in the mail. It's a great time. All right. Other than that, I just got an email saying PayPal is making some changes to our legal agreements that will apply to you. Okay. Well, we'll keep you posted on that as well. All right, everybody, let's get this show started.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is August 16th, 2023. This is episode number 656, and today, Alpha Eco LAWFARE. Signing on from Off the Grid, you're not crazy, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, director of the Age of Deceit Films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomena, Basil, nothing new under the sun. I want to start with just a quick little scripture here. Ecclesiastes 1, verses 8 through 11. All things are wearisome, more than one can describe. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear content with hearing. What has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there a case where one can say, look, this is new, like maybe new shiny UFOs or reverse engineered technology or something? It has already existed in the ages before us. There is no remembrance of those who came before, and those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow after. So kind of depressing, but hey, you know what? It's good to know that the Lord's always there, right? Because obviously all this stuff, woo, It's going to go away. It's going to burn. It's going to go away.
I feel like that emergent phenomenon pops up every once in a while. You know, that's the thing about emergent phenomenons. They emerge, and then they emerge again. You know what else emerges, Gons? This disclaimer for YouTube.
Yeah, I guess so. Not as exciting.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. That's right, and let me give you a rundown.
Oh, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
That's right, we're starting out. The eco-terrorists have arrived, but not in the way you thought. Some Montana youths are taking control of the climate into their own hands. Then, of course, we've got our favorite martyr/rebel weatherman, Chris Gloninger. He's popping up in the news again. Got to keep an eye on that fella. And then, of course, we've got some funny tweets coming from the White House. We got Janet Yellen finally coming out and talking about the time she took mushrooms in China. Of course, Flippy will be scrawling his way across the show here, and that's not the only thing he's scrawling. We'll be checking in on Flippy and his new discovery that will change everything. Aliens, ever heard of them? Well, you're gonna. And then a new piece of messaging coming from the mainstream regarding population control. This time, they're looking at you, mothers. Okay. Oh, yeah. End of the show. Bigfoot hunter. We need to talk about Bigfoot hunters. They're dropping like flies. But first, our lead stories.
Wow. I think the little rundown is becoming more disturbing than the actual show. You know,
yeah.
You just hear that and you're just troubled.
Yeah. That's what we're trying to do is clip out that rundown. Maybe there's a producer out here who could help us with this. Trying to clip out that rundown, trying to keep it under 60 seconds. Hard to do, surprisingly hard to do.
Yeah.
But then just post that on social media and just, people can basically watch the entire show in 60 seconds.
Yeah. Well, for those people who aren't so short-sighted, I don't know, shorts-minded, is that a thing?
Short-minded.
Shorts-minded.
Eco-soldiers and space warriors.
Climate change. Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
How dare you?
Climate change. Climate change. Climate change.
Mass extinction.
Who is that clip from? Eco Warriors or Space Soldiers? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's
Who is that?
Cowboy Bebop. We go over this every time we play it. Yeah, it's a Cowboy Bebop live action version. There's some eco warrior terrorists and space people.
Oh yeah, the Nancy Pelosi of space.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. Well, she has a future.
The thing,
she's going to get hooked up to the machine, and then she's going to stop aging, and she'll be 4,000 years old. And
Gons, she's already hooked up to the machine. She's already stopped aging. She doesn't look a day over 130.
Where's my check, Nancy? All right. ABCnews.com. Montana youths win climate lawsuit against state for promoting fossil fuels. So this is being kind of reported as like a breakthrough, this new big landmark climate change lawsuit. This is how the report comes from ABC.
This is the first time a U.S. court has ruled that the government violated the rights of children by failing to protect them from climate change. This was a case brought by kids ages 5 to 22. They testified in court about the impacts of wildfires, drought, and floods near their homes. The judge in the case said scientific evidence clearly links those events to fossil fuels being promoted by the state. And she declared that the state's constitution guarantees a right to a clean and healthful environment, which includes the climate. The decision now means that officials will be required to consider greenhouse gas emissions when they consider new oil and gas projects in the state of Montana. The state says it will appeal this decision, but it is inspiring this morning groups of young people in a number of other states to sue their governments to do more about climate change.
There it is. The precedent is set. The 5-year-olds, the 5-year-olds are out in force demanding change. Basil.
Look, hey, everybody. Adults, we have a dangerous situation on our hands. If the 5-year-olds figure out that they can start suing people, we are all in very big trouble. But there is an interesting sort of, message here, which is like, hey, kids, hey, you crazy youngsters, go sue the government because that's for kids. What are you, a tiny baby? You tiny baby, little baby boy, go sue your government, baby boy. You know, why? What's going on? Why were there no adults in the room here? What's going on?
I don't know, but 5 to 22, that bridges Gen X with Gen Alpha. So Gen X leading those Gen Alpha straight into climate lawfare. So fantastic for that. And also,
starting the climate anxiety disorder early.
Yeah. They have the prototype from Greta. They just applied it. They put it on steroids, brought it to court.
Younger and
it's
younger.
Crazy. It's crazy.
And younger.
And the video shows the group there, and it's very interesting. Now, there's something in the article itself from ABC, the printed version, that says something that I think is worth noting, and I think a lot of people saw it coming. At the very end of this article, there's a similar challenge underway in those states, and Montana's decision will likely be appealed. Effective immediately, Montana officials will be required to consider the impacts of greenhouse gas. We already got that. That's ESG, by the way, isn't it? I mean, without saying it, it's ESG stuff, right? These states have to comply to ESG metrics now because the kids are mad. And then at the very end, another youth climate case against the Hawaii Department of Transportation is scheduled to go to trial in Hawaii next summer. So very interesting. I don't know if this has anything to do with the fires, but boy, oh boy, does it provide a case for people of Hawaii to sue the Hawaiian government and, I don't know, win money.
Children specifically. Yeah. Children are becoming lawyers earlier and earlier.
Well, they got chat GPT lawyer GPT or whatever.
Oh yeah.
They don't even need real lawyers anymore. This is how the takeover happens. It's all the kids. The kids take over with their chat bots and AI.
Incredible. Well, good for them. I certainly wasn't trying to bring law cases against governments when I was a kid. It was mostly just Pokemon and macaroni and cheese. That times have changed, Gons.
Well, that's what's interesting is who's the actual mastermind behind this? Like what parent? Because this is like a microcosm of the real world where you have these lobbyists and the
activists,
the people behind the scenes. Yeah.
Activists have engaged in child abuse for generations to get their point across and to, get their demands met. I mean, it really is eco-terrorism. These children are being used. These children are being wielded like a weapon by these eco-terrorists. Yeah. I don't know. Sue the government. That's cool. I don't care. If anybody wants to sue the government, go for it. Tell me how that goes. But, all you got to do is get a bunch of 5-year-olds together, and apparently you got a pretty good case.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to stick to the climate topic here and zoom in on a character. Climate change. This is coming from EnergyPortal.EU. The headline here is Heat Waves Named After Fossil Fuel Companies. And it's kind of a boring article that talks about how there's a guy and he's trying to name the heat waves after the fossil fuel companies to stick it to him.
I kind of like this idea. It's kind of a fun idea. I know there's some dissenting opinions in the article, but why not?
Yeah,
why not? All the hurricanes are getting named after God knows who. They're getting named after
Hillary?
Somebody.
I think there's a Hillary with one L coming around the corner.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm I don't live anywhere near that a hurricane I would need to know their names. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. The ExxonMobil heat wave. The
Chevron. Yeah, the Chevron storm, firestorm, or whatever.
I guess it's all heat waves, I guess.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's kind of problematic because it's free advertisement. I mean,
well, that's probably
Donald
what
Trump.
it is. It's paid. Yeah, it's probably back, under the table money to this guy, Walton, Walton.
The oil companies would love to get all the free advertisement of naming weather events after them. I mean, in this world, of advertising, this sort of ethereal world of the advertising economy, where huge amounts of money exchange hands for, advertising purposes, 30 seconds on a show, maybe on the Super Bowl, of course, even more extravagantly, extravagant spending on that advertising. But it's kind of like the Trump thing. The Trump got, I forget what the number was. Somebody put a number on it. It's like he got like $2 billion worth of free advertising just
from
because
the mainstream media hating on him.
Yeah, because he was getting hated on all the time. ExxonMobil would love to get this free advertising.
All publicity is good publicity.
I smell a conspiracy here. This is definitely
we have
gas companies.
We have a man standing in the way of such ideas. While some individuals support the idea of naming heat waves, others have expressed concern. Chris Gloninger, former meteorologist, mentioned the potential for politicization of the issue and the risk of alienating those who dismiss climate change. Oh, he doesn't want to alienate those who dismiss climate change. Look at that. Gloninger himself.
What?
Gloninger himself
That is such
experienced backlash,
honestly,
including death threats after discussing climate change on TV. Yeah, his story's being used as I don't know, they kind of flipped it on him a little bit here. But
No. So for those, you just mentioned it, but for those who forget, we're keeping an eye on this guy, Chris Gloninger, because he basically he exaggerated. I'll be kind. Well, we'll be kind and say that he exaggerated some people being mean to him on the internet. He became a martyr, a weatherman martyr. And immediately we could spot that this guy, he's getting set up. He's an operative. He's becoming an operative. Right. Whether he is trying to or not, that's what he is. He's he was going to a middle-aged
climate think tank afterwards. So
well, he spoke at a conference, right? That was after his whole event. But what he is he's the Greta for middle-aged white men. That is why he is here. And of course, the Greta for middle-aged white men would be
sympathetic to those who dismiss climate change.
You'd be weighing in on this pretty kind of strange story about naming heat waves after gas corporations, which would only serve to give more advertising to the gas companies. But the fact that he is just sort of out of nowhere being asked about this situation, like it doesn't say Chris Gloninger is the guy who is suggesting this. He's not saying Chris Gloninger. Like there's no connection between Chris Gloninger and this story.
No. There is. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is there? Okay, tell me.
Well, I was going to say it's a little more ethereal, I would say, but
no. Okay, stop.
Okay.
So, thank you. That's what I'm saying. There is no logical connection. There is no reason to have a quote from Chris Gloninger in this article. He is placed in this article as an operative, as the Greta of middle-aged white men. And so that is why he is here. This is evidence that he is officially an operative.
Yeah.
Because he is not a part of this story. He just gets to get inserted for no reason.
Well, the reasoning here, I think the reason why he's sort of acting as what the corporations would be, because it says Gloninger himself experienced backlash, including death threats after discussing climate change on TV, basically saying like, oh, see, like Chevron and whatever, these Exxon or whoever, they're going to experience backlash because of the internet or whatever, talking about climate change. So I think
well, maybe he's saying it'll alienate people who are skeptical of climate change.
I get that. I think the outlet.
No, I think what Gloninger is saying, he's saying the same thing we are, which is like, no. This is just going to help the gas companies. Don't do this. Some people will just be like, "Oh, the Exxon heat wave, awesome."
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Gas, by the way.
Gloninger himself has been helped by this whole controversy of him, with the email and all that. So yeah, just in the same way, a negative story brings him to the forefront of mainstream, or I guess Exxon and all that stuff is already mainstream. But anyway, whatever.
Okay. Okay.
The point being, Chris Gloninger, operative evidence. Right,
he's there.
He's there. He's standing in the way. He's representing all those who dismiss climate change after being a weatherman.
Yeah. Here's a funny tweet. This is coming from Skynews.
Mm-hmm.
This is about politics.
Oh yes, politics.
Poly.
It's Latin for many.
Tick.
They'll suck your blood. They'll suck
Politics.
your blood.
Skynews.com.au. When I ran for president, Karine Jean-Pierre posts Joe Biden tweet from her own account. Oopsies.
Yep.
Oopsie daisies.
Oops.
Oopsie daisies and oopsie daisy. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre created a buzz on X, formerly Twitter, when she appeared to have mistakenly posted about her supposed run for president of the United States before promptly deleting it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that an interesting one-sentence article?
Yeah, I know. Which is about as much as I would like to hear about Karine Jean-Pierre. But it's these small moments of joy on the internet when somebody obviously messes up so bad. And it's fun when it's, I don't know, a celebrity or something like that. But to pull back the curtain on the White House press machine.
Sure, yeah.
Who's
actually pushing the buttons in the background?
Right.
Yeah.
The
accounts.
The noble, gay, black, something else. I don't know. She's got a list of virtues there. Who is in charge of all the talking for the White House?
Yeah.
Oopsie daisies actually pretended to be Joe Biden for a second. Which, look, aren't we all Joe Biden sometimes?
Yeah, aren't we all just practice tweeting our Joe Biden tweets?
Don't we all just trip on a sandbag in front of a military academy and try to pretend it didn't happen? Don't we all sometimes go tumbling backwards down a flight of stairs as we're getting on a plane? If I had a nickel for every time that I tumbled backwards down a flight of stairs, I would probably be the president of the United States. But yes, Karine Jean-Pierre, who knows? Maybe this is prophetic. Maybe she is going to run for president. It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
The crazy thing, I'm just picturing her phone, or maybe a work phone that has Twitter, X, or whatever, the app. You log in and then you can just kind of toggle between different accounts or whatever.
Right.
And
that's
boom,
exactly what this is.
And she's on Joe Biden's account, and then she flips through. She's got her own. She maybe has, PUSA account or something. Man, that's a lot of that's some pressure right there, to know that you're running those big accounts. So I get it, but maybe, put down the wine glass or something when you're doing it, or focus in. Don't do it while you're on a walk or something.
Yeah, it is a big mistake. It's a big whoopsies. I mean, it really is. I mean, we knew this. We knew he wasn't writing his own tweets, of course. Not like Trump. I mean, come on. The man is a machine. But I don't think I really realized that Karine Jean-Pierre herself personally would have access to Joe Biden's Twitter account, because that's what this is, right? She has it. She didn't toggle. She has it on the same phone. Yeah. It seems like a topic a concern of national security.
Yeah, a little bit more.
She should have a separate phone that has the president's Twitter account on it. She shouldn't have it on the same app that she has her personal stuff.
This is
on.
all the slippery slope of technology, and you log it into your own thing or a company thing, and it gets all wishy-washy. And but I don't know. I think it shows negligence, but also I think back to the laser tweet. How much of laser focused on helping Maui, and that tweet that came out a couple days ago. She's not coming up with the content. She's sort of probably just copywriting. Here are the points or whatever. The file comes over and she's just kind of summarizes.
Yeah, what she did was she got a text with the message from the lizard people.
Exactly.
She got the content is like the little circle picture on her phone is like a smiling lizard, and he's floating in space without a spacesuit on, and he sends the message. It says, "Okay, here is the next cryptographic message to complete the mind control.
Only decrypt with your blood."
Yes. And then she copies, pastes. Whoops. Wrong one. Big trouble. Yeah. Speaking of whoops.
Yeah.
We have an update on the Janet Yellen magic mushroom story in China.
I love it. So because it's Janet Yellen, it has to do with money. And magical mushrooms is PHARMAKEIA. And what we have here is truly the merchants of the earth trading human souls using their sorcery. I mean, this is it right here, Janet Yellen. Example, display number 1. You have nothing to say. Okay. All right.
No,
well,
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to play the clip.
Well, I could play the clip. But yeah, we reported on this a few weeks ago. Maybe it was in print. Basically, when she was in China, there was a restaurant called In-N-Out. No affiliation with the In-N-Out in America. Maybe they stole the name. But apparently they serve dishes with the psilocybin mushrooms in there. And Janet Yellen was asked about it on CNN. And here was her response.
So I went with this large group of people, and the person who had arranged our dinner did the ordering. There was a delicious mushroom dish. I was not aware that these mushrooms had hallucinogenic properties. I learned that later. I can tell you
later, when you're sleeping and having visions, or
well, I was read that if the mushrooms are cooked properly, which I'm sure they were at this very good restaurant, that they have no impact. But all of us enjoyed the mushrooms, the restaurant, and none of us felt any ill effects from having eaten them.
All right. Well, and now they're selling out at In-N-Out China.
Janet Yellen saying everyone enjoyed the mushrooms must be clipped for a jingle. Someone out there.
I had it ready, but yes, I will have it officially isolated.
It's beautiful. It's perfect. And for those who are just listening,
yes,
I mean, you can kind of hear it in her voice. She's having fun. She's kind of having fun with this one. She's having a good time. But you look at her face, she has the biggest, craziest smile on her face, and her head is like bobbing around. Now, I have not watched enough C-SPAN to know whether or not this is just, well, I'm just saying, where do you see Janet Yellen? She's probably on C-SPAN more than anything. I've not watched C-SPAN enough to have memorized sort of the body language of Janet Yellen. But judging just from this clip, I'm going to say she's on mushrooms right now. And yes, of course, she's saying, they cooked them right. She did call this psychoactive effect the ill effect. So, okay, maybe that's one thing. Maybe she really didn't. Who knows?
Or maybe bad trip. You don't talk about it. Good trip, you talk about it.
The problem with this is, like, of course, you got to say you didn't. It's like Bill Clinton, Janet Yellen saying, "Oh, yeah, we ate the mushrooms, but it wasn't the bad mushrooms." It's like Bill Clinton being like, "Yeah, but I didn't inhale." History repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun, Gons.
So, yeah, exactly. For those of you just listening, when she said at the very end, when she's talking about the ill effects and all that, her eyes are very shifty. They're looking all around.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll play it one more time here.
Restaurant that they have no impact, but all of us enjoyed the mushrooms, the restaurant, and none of us felt any ill effects from having eaten them.
All right.
Well, yeah, she does like a hard look to the right, like none of us
felt
shifty. Nothing. It's like, whoa, why are you shifty eyes? Like that's
looking
so weird.
Very shifty. So, okay, whatever you say, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, probably the most powerful, at least economically powerful woman on the planet right now. Who knows? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would say she probably should try the mushrooms again. Yeah,
maybe she'll have more love in her heart. Maybe she sees something. God. Mm-hmm. Come on, Janet. No, I don't think.
I mean, it's hard to collapse the entire world economy on purpose when you're
sober. It's like it's a little too heavy on my soul. I gotta release a little tension. Let's go to In-N-Out China and have those delicious magic mushrooms.
We got to get Janet Yellen's shaman on the show.
Who's the one that ordered? Didn't she say that the person ordered?
Exactly. Somebody arranged it. Somebody ordered for her, and that is her shaman. And we need to find him. I'm sure we'll find him at Davos or something. But one detail that they kind of have been leaving out of all of these follow-up stories about it is that she ate 4 servings. She ate 4 plates of this stuff. And look, I don't know. I mean, 4 plates of mushrooms. 4 plates of mushrooms will send you to the moon. Maybe, who knows?
Non-psychoactive mushrooms. 4 plates of them might send you places.
I'm noticing she's not trying to bring up the fact that she did eat 4 plates of these mushrooms like a truffle hunting piglet. All right.
What day? What are we doing? What?
It is. I don't know. Oh, it's Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh, it's Wednesday. Thank goodness.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday.
Hey guys, Wednesday. What date is it? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes.
That's right. It's Wednesday. We're doing it, folks. It is. It's hot again. I don't know if anybody noticed that. But something about, lasers in the sky blasting the ionosphere. The heat continues. What should we name this heat wave after? Should we? I don't think we should reserve naming heat waves after oil companies, just gas companies. I think we should maybe name them after politicians or I don't know, ice cream flavors. Maybe that's what we got to do.
That's really the culprit. Yeah, we gotta get the outrage. So it's got to be something that people love.
I want the Janet Yellen heat wave. That's what I'm calling this one. It's the Janet Yellen heat wave tripiversary.
Nice. I like it.
How you doing? Anything new going on over there?
No, nothing new under the sun. But I was confirmed. Tropical storm Hillary expected to deluge Southern California with heavy rain. Oh yeah, Hillary is gonna fly over Southern California. Baby.
We're gonna stop this right here. This is a family show, Gons. No, Hillary ain't doing nothing. That's the Janet Yellen trippy rainstorm. I'm trying to think. I haven't had anything very interesting to talk about at the top of the show in quite some time, which is probably good. Saves us some time. Get on with business.
That and you're not in the hospital, so you don't have stories to tell of
else?
being in the hospital.
What else is going on? Oh, the puppies killed a gigantic rat.
Oh, nice.
I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was kind of horrific. Dogs are horrific creatures, man. I don't know.
They're wolves.
They're getting big. Wolves. These puppies are getting big. They're running around. They're taking care of the place, protecting the emus from. Well, they're protecting the emus from the emus, I guess. They're very self-destructive. But I walk out onto the porch yesterday, and there's or something, which these dogs do not have many toys to play with. And when they don't have many toys to play with, apparently they just murder large mammals just for fun. And I saw it there as very gross. And I left it there to go do some other business. And I came back and it was gone. And I thought, maybe it's fine. Maybe he was okay. Maybe he was just sleeping. That poor little guy was just taking a little nap. And then the dogs ran up to me. Uh-huh. Yeah, the dogs ran up and they were giving me all sorts of kisses, and I smelled the rancid.
Oh, you're
the rancid sun-dried perfume of the dead man. Yeah, so that was gross. That was gross.
Nice.
But you have kids, so you're familiar with way grosser things. Well, I could not.
Plenty of gross things. Yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to talk about all the gross things.
Thanks for listening to gross stuff. It's a tough subject. It's maybe that should be a new what's the word? A new segment on the show.
A whole segment about gross stuff.
Yeah, a whole segment. Yeah, I mean, we gotta get some content out there for the really nasty boys, the nasty internet people that like to hear about dead mice left in the sun, that kind of stuff. I don't know. We just got a little something for everyone around here. Sure. Well, if you're good to go, we can just blast right through the rest of this break here, if you'd like.
Let's thank some executive producers.
Executive producers.
Oh yeah, we're on the value for value model, and we don't take any money from corporations, commies, or cartels. We don't even name our episodes after oil companies. Take that, climate change activists. Nope, we are entirely funded by people who listen to the show, who get value from the show. And, it's worked so far so good. It slowed down a little bit recently. We're in that mid-month slump, Gons. There's the beginning of the month slump where everybody's paying rent. Then there's the mid-month slump. Everybody has more important stuff to do. Yeah. Then there's the end of the month slump.
When everyone's out of money.
And it's in between those three. Yeah, in between those three slumps that somehow this show is kept alive. But executive producers, you can produce the show. You can do it with your time, your talent, or your treasure. It's not all about money. It's about your talent. It's about your involvement. It's about becoming one with the show. That is what the producers do, and the producers are you. But you can go to canarycry.support to learn more. And the executive producers are people who come in. They're very generous, and they commit $100 or more per episode, for any individual episode, rather. And we love them very much. Unfortunately, today there are no executive producers, Gonzo. Sorry to tell you. Yeah. But that's okay. There's always next episode. It's going to be, what is it? It's the 16th. Yeah, this is a rough. Most people are getting paid in 2 days. Who knows? Maybe we just don't create value anymore, Gons. I know. No, it's not possible. Guys, we're trying to get Gons out of the catastrophic thinking mode. Just because we have a couple bad episodes doesn't mean our whole career is over.
Hang him up. I'm going to hang him up. It's over.
The problem is you guys got to prove me right, or else this is going to be bad. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And honestly, Gons, the list of producers is so short. We should just do it now so we don't have to bother with it later.
Sure.
Okay. Let's thank everybody who became a producer today.
Yay. Let's do it. Who's up?
Here we go. Let's start with, okay, here we go. I'm just going to start with Malik W. Producer Malik W.
Malik W. Is he not on a streak?
Yeah, he's on a 7-episode streak.
Thank you, Malik.
Yeah, it comes in a nice round number, so we'll keep that secret for you. Just so everybody knows, when you produce the show, if you come in with a nice normal round number, that's you telling us to, not disclose it on the show. If you would prefer or don't mind us disclosing it, make it something fun. Have some fun with the numbers. We say 777, $3,333.30. Something like that.
7,700,000.
Yeah, 1,101,111. Thank you, Malik.
Thank you, Malik,
for your continued support. Next up, we got Sir Alex Protocol V2. Now to the Berean Protocol comes in with a pocket full of 777 on a 204 episode streak.
Oh yeah, streakalicious.
Thank you, Sir Alex Protocol V2.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Alex Protocol. And that's it. That is the whole list for producers who came in above the 777 mark, which entitles them to have a note read on the show, which they so graciously gave us mercy from. And but we got a few people who came in under the 777 mark. And we'll thank them right now. We got our streakers, the faithful streakers, starting with Veronica D.
Veronica D, thank you.
294 in a row. Thank you, Veronica. Sir Scott Knight of Truth, 323.
Ooh, thank you.
In a row. Sir Casey the Shield Knight, big day. Sir Casey the Shield Knight coming in on his 333rd episode in a row.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't have it ready, did you?
You know what's really funny? I really wish people can see my screen, because there's a spot there that's supposed to be for the 333 jingle.
and it didn't make it.
It's not there, but I will be able to find it rather quickly. So here we go.
We had one shot.
There it is. That wasn't too bad. Sorry, Sir Casey.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Next up, we got Dame Gail, Canary, Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's coming in 292 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Dame Gail.
And we got Sir Moore of Now to the Burning Chariots, 266 episodes in a row.
Oh yeah, streakalicious. Women rule.
Thank you to the ladies.
Right. That's right. And you too can become a producer of the show by going to canarycry.support. It's a great way to do it. And you can make up your own number. There's some suggestions there, or you can join one of our monthly producerships. There's the supply drop, canarycrysupply.com, where you will right now, if you sign up for the supply drop, we will send you a free Canary Cry News Talk t-shirt for joining the Canary Cry Babysitters Club. So canarycrysupply.com and Canary Cry T-shirt Council. That's another great one to do. canarycryt-shirtcouncil.com. But anyways, you'll find all that at canarycry.support.
Canarycry.support.
Yes. And we should mention, just because they're coming up, we got a couple meetups.
Okay. Now you've done it.
You got to just have it ready, man.
I know, but I feel like we're moving on, and then you fake me out.
Right, but it's just right there. Meetup. Just following the notes. The notes are right there. CanaryCryMeetups.com. Go check it out. Meetups are very important, not just to us, but like to humans, to meet humans that you have stuff in common with. And I've always said it. If you listen to the same podcast as someone, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get along, especially if it's this one. There's a couple meetups coming up very soon. We've got the Eastern North Carolina meetup on September 2nd. North Carolina Crystal Coast on Labor Day weekend. Contact Nancy. All the info is there for you. So North Carolinians, check it out. We've got the Reno, Nevada meetup on September 9th at Roller Kingdom. That's right. Church of Skating, going roller skating with the Canarians. This sounds fun. You can get in contact with who? Oh, we got to put
Sean
the information.
And Courtney S.
Yeah, it's not on the website. We got to put that on the website.
It's on the website. What are you talking about? I'm at the website.
Why are you so aggressive? I'm also on. Oh, yeah, but.
Oh, you mean like in the text area?
There's nothing. Gons. It says the words Sean and Courtney S., but there's no way to contact them. You can't just walk outside your home and start yelling the names of random people and get the information. We will put some contact information on the website for you if you want to join that meetup. And I really think you should. It's very important. And then, of course, we got the Camden, Tennessee meetup on October 14th. You can get all the info for all this stuff at canarycrimemeetups.com. We will see you at the meetup.
This is fun! See you at the meetup.
There we go. Short fuse today, folks. Short fuse. Take it easy. Okay, you want to do Flippy? You got anything else?
You sure, Flippy? We good?
I'm good if you're good.
Flippy update. Do you want fries with that?
All right, folks. You know them. You love them. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world. Now there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from moviesonline.ca.
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with that really popular outlet.
This very popular outlet called moviesonline.ca, and of course, a movie-related website would have this headline: a new ecosystem full of unknown creatures has been discovered beneath the ocean floor. Do not be mistaken. Do not be mistaken, anybody. This has nothing to do with movies. In fact, about 90% of stuff on this outlet has nothing to do with movies. I have no idea why this exists, but I thank God for it every day. The article goes like this. The previously unknown ecosystem was discovered as part of a research expedition by the Schmidt Ocean Institute. Sebastian. It's a submarine. S-U-B. Sebastian. Underwater robot, equipped with a robotic arm, has been launched from the Falcor ship off the coast of Central America. Sebastian.
Mm-hmm. The robot with an arm.
The robot is a he, him. We've got the pronouns of this robot. It's not in quotation marks. It's not italicized. This is a male robot. Do not get it twisted. He managed to remove the upper layers from the bottom near hydrothermal vents at a depth of about 2,500 meters. There, an ecosystem unknown to science, full of strange animals and chemically synthesized bacteria, awaited the researchers. This robot, Sebastian, male robot, has discovered something that was previously unknown, an entirely new world of hydrothermal life, Gons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, nothing new under the sun, but maybe underneath a layer of gook at the bottom of the ocean there.
Yeah. Thank you, Sebastian, for your hard work at, I don't know, wasting our tax dollars or something. I'm going to skip this next part that teaches us all about hydrothermal vents. The next part is an unknown world we had no idea existed. As part of the mission, the scientists used Sebastian's robotic arm to pull up the top layers of the ocean floor. I thought pull up was a very interesting way to pull it, to say it. Kind of sounds like he's just lifting a rug up off the bottom of the ocean. But I don't know. I'm assuming he's doing some digging or something.
I was thinking some scraping,
Some scraping.
Just some real.
Do we have the technology? Are we futuristic enough where we can scrape things with a robotic arm? We must be. Use Sebastian's robotic arm to pull up the top layers of the ocean floor, then placed boxes over the resulting cracks and craters. Okay. When they checked it a few days later, they discovered a lot of strange creatures. The researchers suggest that they must have reached the containers from beneath the ocean floor. So the researchers suggest that they found creatures in the boxes.
I think Sebastian did a little sleight of hand here. Sleight of flippy hand. Little magic trick at the bottom of the ocean there.
There's so many layers of this that like bug me. And one of them is that they're sort of insinuating that they accidentally found these creatures and that these creatures somehow made their way into the boxes. And it's like, okay, I guess. Okay. Why were you, what is in the boxes? What were the boxes you were putting there? I don't understand, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Robots are showing us things that we've never seen before. Yeah. Sebastian
start blaming the robot.
Yeah. He's having to justify his own existence. Then it talks a lot about more creatures, new ecosystem hidden beneath another ecosystem. It's ecosystems all the way down, baby, that provides new evidence that life can exist in amazing places. Our understanding of animal life near hydrothermal vents has greatly expanded with this discovery. These scientists kind of sound a little bored. Monica Bright, an ecologist at the University of Vienna, who was part of the expedition, there are two dynamic habitats. They talk about the alien-like creatures that are living beneath the ocean, beneath the mud, in these steamy hydrothermal vents that can only be discovered with the technological superiority of our robot slave masters. Yes.
Well, I was going to say, it feels like the abyss is opening or something, because we had the strawberry creature, the other day with the Nephilim update with the thing that looked like a strawberry that didn't look like a strawberry.
No. Strawberry. Yeah, the face hugger.
The face hugger.
Yeah, no, I mean, when hell opens up and demons start pouring out from the abyss, it's going to be because a robot did it. A robot underwater scraped a little too hard and started the apocalypse. Here's another quote. Discovering new creatures, landscapes, and now a whole new ecosystem that highlights how much we still have to discover in our own surroundings and how important it is to protect what we don't yet know or understand.
Ooh.
How important it is to protect what we don't yet know or understand. It kind of sounds like Sebastian maybe wrote this article too.
Yeah, he's
sort of robo activism.
Robo activism. There's like a spirituality to it. There's like to protect the unknown. There's a faith element.
Yeah, there is part of the psyop that is all these robots being introduced into society, and we're being convinced that we really don't love our fellow man as much as we love our robots. And your children will come and go, they'll grow up, they'll leave your home, but your robot will always be with you. There's another side of it, which is, we can't discover anything else without robots. The time of human exploration is over. We have gone as far as we can, and now it's time for the robots to take our place as masters of the universe, of the planet. Because without them, we would never know. We would never know what's on the other side of that hydrothermal vent. That certainly, inevitably, will be found in some sort of Fauci-sponsored lab. That will then, just be another reason for the government to do what they do. Who knows? But Sebastian is a noble creature, and we all must obey him in the coming underwater apocalypse.
We got to wait for the keys to the abyss to open. Maybe Sebastian will be holding it.
Sebastian sounds like, if let's say there was an outlet called Movies Online, and let's just pretend that this moviesonline.com had like information about movies. One of those movies might be about a robot named Sebastian, who, I mean, that's such a sinister name for a robo overlord, is it not? Human names for robots, it's not right. It's not right. Call me old fashioned, but we need to name our robots robot names.
There's an ancient, not too ancient, but there's a Portuguese messianic mythology called Sebastianism, based on the belief that King Sebastian of Portugal, who disappeared in the Battle of Alcácer Quibir, would reappear and return to Portugal at some critical point in the future.
Oh.
Yeah, and some people, the belief gained momentum after an interpretation by priest Antonio Vieira of the second chapter of the Book of Daniel and the Book of Revelation.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, and he's got a banner and the whole deal. Yeah, King
got
Sebastian's back in the form of a ocean floor scraping robot discovering new creatures.
You know what, folks? If you listen or watch this show for any reason, it's because of our incredible skill to connect literally anything to the Book of Revelation.
That's not me. I didn't even look. I wasn't even looking for Book of Revelation, Book of Daniel, whatever.
Man.
I was just looking for Sebastian.
We're not
Boom.
even making
King
it up. It
Sebastian.
just happens, man. It's just what happens around here. There you go. Watch out, Sebastian, the Dark Lord who is coming for us all. Okay, that's it for the Flippy update today.
All right, let's do the thing.
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Aliens. It's unidentified. Aliens. Aliens. Aliens.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
Where are the aliens?
Maybe in Israel. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, a lot of alien talk continues. The mainstreaming of alienism is here. And got a couple headlines, and then I have a story to bring you. The first one is from New Scientist. This is one end of the spectrum when it comes to the reporting on aliens. There's sort of an atheistic kind of, more quote unquote traditional science type of approach
secular
to the idea. Yeah. New Scientist. Aliens on low oxygen worlds may never discover fire. And if they can't discover fire, Basil, they can't advance. And so they would not be communicating with us. It's kind of interesting, it's without saying it, they're sort of promoting the idea that humanity is special, that we are the light bearers. We in a Promethean kind of way, we are gifted, that we discovered and harnessed fire. It may not be something that all other aliens have been able to do.
Sure.
So that's one end of the mythology building when it comes to the alien topic. The other end is coming from dailymail.co.uk. Although I do have the Pop Sci or Popular Mechanics article that you mentioned, Basil. But this dailymail.co.uk headline, Harvard professor Avi Loeb, which we've been talking about for a while, says aliens may be creating universes, including our own, in labs because they have godlike intelligence. So yeah, the Harvard physicist is basically saying that the aliens are the godlike intelligence that created the multiverse. Basically what he's saying. Good stuff. Yeah. And as you pointed out before the show, Basil, the Popular Mechanics had this headline. This Harvard scientist thinks alien probes are already here. He's checking out these mysterious sphere rules first. And of course, it's a report about his ocean adventures, looking for
his own ocean scraping.
Right. That's right. His own ocean scrape. Maybe he needs to team up with Sebastian to find those little pieces of, what was it, Oumuamua or something that allegedly came to Earth in 2014. Oumuamua.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Charles Hoskinson on that trip, guy who created Cardano. But yeah, the first line of this article, Avi Loeb of Harvard University, known as the bad boy of astronomy, is at it again. And I believe we talked about Avi Loeb as the bad boy of
astronomy.
Yeah, so you gotta respect his views, I suppose. So that's sort of the other end of it. And one of the facts about Avi Loeb is that he is Israeli. And so I had remembered that I made a video many years ago about documenting a Rav Michael Lightman, who basically was on stage saying that the Jews are the aliens. Again, this is not me saying it. This is this rabbi saying it. And so I looked up Jews, aliens, whatever, just kind of doing a quick search. And I ran into this article from the Jerusalem Post that made me go, Headline: Jews in space? Far-right conspiracy theorists say Jews are aliens. This was published back on August 9th, so about a week ago. Yeah.
Because we played that clip where the rabbi was talking. I mean, I don't know if you have that clip laying around.
I have it here. Yeah, I have it ready to go for today. Yeah. But we'll get there. But yeah, let's hear what the Jerusalem Post has to say about this, because I found this very interesting and peculiar. Quote, Jews are aliens to this planet, claims far-right author and conspiracy theorist Cynthia Hodges in her latest video, according to the Canary Mission Watchdog.
What?
The what? Canary Mission Watchdog. Have you heard of the Canary Mission Watchdog, Basil?
No, I have not heard of the Canary Mission Watchdog.
Yeah, I had to look it up.
I'll look it up right now,
Yeah,
though.
I had to look it up. So canarymission.org is the website, and they have an about section, and it says here, Canary Mission documents individuals and organizations that promote hatred of the USA, Israel, and Jews on North American college campuses and beyond.
Weird.
Canary Mission investigates hatred across the entire political spectrum, including the far right, far left, and anti-Israel activists. Canary Mission is motivated by a desire to combat the rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses and so on. So, yeah, kind of a... Oh, and so you can become a member.
This is a weird group. It's really hard to see where they stand.
I know. It's very, it's kind of shifty. Individuals who believe they should be removed from the Canary Mission website are encouraged to be in touch with us and may become an ex-Canary.
Okay.
Yeah, like what is going on? By shining a light on hate groups and their members, the public is better informed about bigotry on their campuses and in their communities. Canary Mission believes that we have all the right to know if an individual has been affiliated with movements that routinely engage in anti-Semitic rhetoric and actions, promote hatred of Jews, and seek the destruction of Israel. So, looks like it's part of the BDS movement, too.
No, so it would be anti-BDS is what this is.
Or
so it's pretty strictly, anti-BDS. You said anti-Semitic. It's like very strictly what some might call like a Zionist thing. It's a watchdog, almost. Here, look at this ex-Canary zone here. That tab of ex-Canary.
Yeah.
Ex-Canary features individuals who were formerly investigated and featured on Canary Mission, but have since rejected the latent anti-Semitism on the far right, the far left, and among anti-Israel organizations and activists. So
they get like called out or something, and then they have to make
they're
public
like calling
statements.
People out there like doxing people. If you go to the professors tab, there's just like a bunch of professors, their pictures, their place of work, their organizations they're part of, their names. You got Kevin Bruyneil, who's a professor in Massachusetts, part of the BDS organization. Kevin Bruyneil has spread incitement, expressed hatred of Israel, and is supporter of the boycott. And it just kind of goes on all these people. It's kind of weirding me out a little bit. And there's so many of them.
Yeah,
it just keeps going.
You got professors, you got students, you got professionals. It really kind of is like an interesting intelligence list or something, like a hit list. It's weird.
Really is. It kind of reminds me of like that Ukraine list. That's like all the people who are pro-Russian get put on that spooky Ukraine list and then become liquidated. These ones apparently just become ex-Canaries. It's kind of don't know about that branding, but okay, sure. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, how did we get here? I don't know how I got here.
This is the group that was calling out Cynthia Hodges for her claims that Jews are aliens to this planet.
Got it.
Let's go back to the Jerusalem Post. Hodges also claimed that Earth is being terraformed by alien entities to make it habitable for them, and that Jews are selling toxic vaccines. Quote, just look who's running these pharmaceutical companies. The certain tribe that wears tiny hats, okay?
Oh, we're going to get kicked off of YouTube for just looking at this.
I mean, this is the quote from the article.
Yeah, well, that hasn't stopped them before.
The conspiracy theorist added that these entities are changing the body to make them easier to inhabit, saying you can think of it as possession. Quote, I do think that you can think of them as demons because they really are that evil, said Hodges, additionally claiming that she had video of a rabbi saying that Jews are aliens.
Right.
Okay, so this is where I thought weird, really weird, because I did make a video about this a long time ago. In fact, it was published on September 8th, 2015, and it was titled ETs in Jewish Mysticism, How an Alien Savior Can Arise in Modern Judaism. And I'll play for you. I listened to the video, play it back. I played it back after several years. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised at the fact that I was surprised then. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy's actually saying this. So some pretty startling footage here. But yeah, you wanted to say something before we play the clip? Okay, So this is Rav Michael Lightman. And he is basically, he was talking about receiving messages to the mind. Like he'll forget, people forget, the Jews forget who they are, what they're here for, whatever, and then they get a voice to come to their head to remind them. That's what he's claiming. And you can hear the translator laughing as he's translating him, and that's where it starts off. He starts off by talking about how it's like the Bourne Identity or Jason Bourne. You have like what it sounds to me like voice to skull, but here he is.
Like in Jason Bourne. And this is what's happening with us. We have to wake up. We have to remember that we have a special mission. And really, this isn't our place. We're coming from a completely different place. So we have to find our friends according to this awakening. Did you get a phone call? I got a phone call. He got a phone call, and so on. And then we gather as a group. We are aliens. We're coming from a different galaxy. We received this ray of light, this awakening, individually, and now we're gathering as groups, starting to prep ourselves to conquer Earth. That's the mission. What? You don't see it?
How do we conquer it?
We're being shown everything gradually. We're being taught. Not taught, but kind of being trained, activated, and then that emotion and mind awakens in us. But in fact, it's new to us, but in fact it's coming from our original planet. And thanks to that original natural force we have, we will take over those living on Earth.
And it just goes on like that. For
what are you looking at me like that? You don't believe what I'm telling you? I'm telling you seriously.
Oh, I forgot there's a little bit more.
Oh, wait, I'm actually kind of interested.
Yeah. Okay, go.
Was that it restarting, or was
there
more?
No, there's a little bit more.
What are you looking at me like that? You don't believe what I'm telling you? I'm telling you seriously. It's even more than that. It's not a different galaxy. It's a different universe. It's a different dimension altogether.
Yeah, he says all the things. So, and then he goes on and talks about, he's not talking about flesh and blood and skin color and all that. He's talking about what's on the inside. It's on the inside.
Right. Well, that's kind of where I have to at least say it out loud, because there's plenty of sermons, Christian sermons, all sorts of public speaking things where people will speak in metaphor, and especially when you're talking about spiritual stuff, lots of metaphors. There's I'm reminded of when secular people hear Christians talking about bathing in the blood of the lamb, right. Or stuff like that, and even like a little bit of this alien type of metaphor I've heard used, talking about how as Christians we're just pilgrims here. This is not our home.
Some translations
kind of
say
stuff.
Alien. Paul uses the word, or translated to English, alien. So yeah,
right.
it is part of the theology of Christianity. So yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it out loud, just so I don't get the emails. I'm saying it out loud.
Right.
That this is totally a thing, and this might be that. I don't know. I'd have to listen to the whole thing, but it's funny because he was really sticking with it, wasn't he?
He's just going. Yep, just going. And people, it's funny because all the people that were asking questions were like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, what are you saying?"
Right.
There was a guy, like, obviously I chopped it off at the end there. But another person asked a question like, how is it? So you're saying only the Jews have this light, like nobody else has it, And he's like, yep,
right.
Nobody else has it.
Right.
Nope. It's like, but the human heart, he's like, nope, nobody else. And it's like, ooh, okay, that's kind of weird. So, in the YouTube,
Christian might say the same thing.
Sure. In the YouTube video, I went to, I forget which website it was. It was a specifically, one of the Judaic, the mystical websites that had, documents all kinds of stuff for Judaism. And I outlined how some of their cosmology, I suppose, includes the potential of aliens and how we will rule over, like each of us will rule over a planet and stuff like that. Very Mormon. It's kind of interesting.
Sure.
So there's a, I don't know. It all seems to be from a similar source. And if you really break it down, there are parallels to the biblical message. Hey, in my mansion there are many rooms, stuff like that. So there's all these like slight references that get twisted in all different directions. But yeah, and I can understand that. Hey, he's just maybe talking in the framework of the religion and the mystical, Talmudic, Kabbalistic framework that he's under.
Yeah, and I wasn't. I'm not saying that I know he is doing that or not. I'm curious. I would like to hear if he was or not, if anybody knows, because it wouldn't necessarily surprise me anyway. I just don't want to, pick on somebody for making a metaphor.
I don't think. He's doubled down on articles in the since then.
Totally. Yeah, I hear
this guy's the guy like out there saying that, right? So.
Right.
And who knows, he might come into the mainstream light at some point. The same way Avi Loeb, he's kind of around for a while, in the UFO community and all that. And then the last few years really got the mainstream treatment. So I think there's a lot of operatives in that way ready to go in terms of narrative crafting. And if you're talking about, the end times, Jerusalem being a mystery Babylon and the Antichrist presenting himself as a Jewish Messiah, which the scriptures seem to suggest, no hard conclusions, but based on studies that I've done and others have done. In that sense, this narrative kind of works. And then you got to get the mark to be a part of it, Do
you think this guy is considered far right in the Jewish community with this guy?
Maybe. This is well before the, hyper politicization of the United States.
Right. But Jerusalem Post is talking about Hodges. He's not even talking about this guy. Right. So they're picking on Hodges, for quoting this guy.
Probably this guy. I'm guessing because they don't actually say who the source is. They just say, "Oh yeah, she's got some source." It's like,
got it.
This is a source. This is saying it. So I don't know. But yeah, they conclude with how Hodges has a history of alien conspiracy theories. She's got a bunch of books. Talks about reptilians and
the whole thing.
So, the whole deal, the frequency wars, the whole situation. So yeah, I there's a part of me, to be 100% honest with you, Basil, there's a part of me that feels like it's somewhat of a blessing that we've kind of stayed under the radar when it comes to all this, getting tangled up in look at this guy's far right or far left or whatever that stuff is. We've kind of stayed out of it. I'm sure we're on some list somewhere, but in terms of the mainstream writing a hit piece on us or something like that.
Yeah, the targeting. It's a miracle that we thank God for every day.
It's almost like we get it in weird other ways, Like we get the Canary mission like coming in.
Yeah, that is still tripping me out.
What if we get named by the Canary mission? Or maybe they can't because, too close to their own thing. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we're not anti-Israel and we're not BDS folks. They would have no reason.
That's true.
No reason to target us. Although now that you talked about
Michael Leichman,
Yeah, alien rabbi guy. You might get put on a list.
Hey, man, I'm just playing the clip of the guy. But it does bring a whole nother layer to Alex Jones' claims.
Who were made by the aliens.
I mean, if you want to talk about the history of the world, not wrong. Not wrong.
Yeah. You keep your volume keeps dipping super, super low. I don't know what that is, but just letting you know. Okay, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure.
You
ready?
Ready, Freddy.
Are you even woke?
Woke up, man.
We should invite fewer people to be born.
I've been hanging on to this article for a week or so because it just struck me so hard, and we have not been able to fit it into the show quite yet. But this is coming from The Guardian, and the headline is this: Mothers negatively affected by having 3 daughters and no sons, study shows. And that seems like you think you know what that means, but you don't quite. Really go places with this. All right. Cinderella may have had an evil stepmother and a pair of ugly stepsisters to contend with, but the next time you settle down to the fairy tale, spare a thought for parents with 3 daughters under the same roof. Having 3 daughters and no sons can lead to a minor dent in mothers' well-being that can take a whole decade to pass, according to researchers. Psychologists reached the conclusion after studying the life satisfaction of parents who already had 2 children of the same sex and went on to have another baby. The fall in well-being was seen only among mothers who had 3 daughters and no sons, leading the researchers to ask whether mothers are more affected than fathers by the sex of their children. Quote, "It seems that mothers do not want to have too many children of the same sex as them," the authors write in the study. Quote, "It is possible this reflects not just an issue of children, but one of household composition, with the mother not wanting too many females in the household." Okay. Paul Dolan, a professor of behavioral science at the London School of Economics, teamed up with his colleagues to assess the impact on well-being of having 3 children of the same sex. This is such a specific thing that they were studying. I have got to figure out how these guys got this funded. The work drew on surveys completed by 17,000 people born in 1958 and 17,000 people born in 1970 throughout their lives. Participants in the study were quizzed at least once every decade about their subjective well-being and answered further questions on whether they had children and how satisfied they felt with life. Parents who had 2 children of the same sex were more likely to go on to have a 3rd baby and have that child faster than parents who had one of each sex, the study found. Are you following so far?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So parents, 2 kids. If they have 2 kids of the same sex, they had a 3rd faster than if they already had one of each. Okay. But the intriguing results came when the researchers looked at the 3rd birth. When parents had 2 children of the same sex and went on to have a 3rd, their well-being dropped slightly over the next 10 years if that child was of the same sex too. So we're talking about a 10-year timeline on life fulfillment, depending on the sex of the 3rd child. Writing in the Journal of Behavior and Experimental Economics, the authors say the subjective well-being findings are, quote, driven entirely by mothers. So driven entirely by mothers who don't have a boy after having 2 girls. Quote, "It is possible that consistent with demographic literature, mothers are simply more affected by childbirth than fathers," they say. Don't really know how that applies specifically, but okay. According to Dolan, parents who have 2 children of the same sex are more likely to try for a 3rd in the hope that they will, quote, "win the birth lottery." quote, our data suggests that the disappointment is mostly from mothers with 2 girls not having a boy, as opposed to mothers of 2 boys not having a girl. So it's specifically about the 2 daughters and having a 3rd daughter. Doing it with the boys doesn't show the same result at all. The study suggests that parents may fare better if they have 2 children of the same sex rather than going for a 3rd to try for a mix of sexes. So don't even try going for that.
Don't add
3rd
another
kid.
one. Just be done with it. Okay.
No point. You're going to be so sad in 10 years if you have that 3rd kid.
We should invite fewer people to be born.
Yeah. Parents that had 2 children of the same sex experienced a boost to their well-being.
Oh.
But this was mostly driven by fathers when the children were 2 girls, with mothers showing a delayed improvement in their well-being. That's kind of just a little add-on they put there. Quote, perhaps this is due to an outdated preference for boys, Dolan said. Okay, so there was a couple. First of all, what a strange study these scientists are devoting themselves to. And what a pretty large study, too. 17,000. Yeah, 17,000 plus 17,000, this is what, 34? Yeah. 34,000 people. That's more people than they tested the last vaccine variant.
Of course. That shouldn't be the standard for any comparison.
8 mice, folks. 8 mice. Never forget the 8 mice. But so this was just struck me really as really odd. And there's a couple things going on here. First of all, there is a bit of a eugenics, kind of abortion, kind of family planning type of, vibe to this thing. Like, hey, if you got 2 girls, just stay there. Don't risk it. Don't risk having another girl, this kind of stuff. But it's also got a very interesting sort of trans aspect to it as well.
Oh yeah, if they have the 3rd child, maybe you groom that child to be a boy, and then you'll be happier.
Right. If you have a mother who has a 3rd daughter and experiences a measurable, quantifiable decline in life fulfillment or whatever. What was the exact?
I think it was life fulfillment. That's
Yeah, something like that. So. Yeah, if you have a 3rd kid and it comes out a girl like your last 2, you are apparently going to be bummed out for at least 10 years, maybe more. Measurable, quantifiable. If you have bummed out mothers who wanted a boy, didn't get the boy, I mean, these are the ones. These are the parents that you're seeing who are like, the 3rd one was a girl. Okay, but what if she's not? What if she's not a girl? And, again, here we support adults making adult decisions that don't impact children. When you get children involved, you get children making decisions for the rest of their life. That's an entirely different situation. But these mothers that we've seen on social media and on the news and things like this, where they're transitioning their 6-year-olds way too early in life, and they're so excited and they get some sort of virtue out of it. There's it's a whole thing. We've all seen this. This might go to explain a little bit of that. And now you're mixing sort of a family planning eugenics vibe. I feel like maybe these things are connected. The whole idea of, the happiness that's either given or taken away from having a child, so plan accordingly, mix that with these very specific gender outcomes. We've basically created a society that is encouraging these mothers, telling these mothers, like, hey, you're going to be sad for a very long time, unless there's a very specific thing that you can sort of influence your child in a certain direction, Gons.
Well, that's one level, but, some people might not be down with that. So you got your next level.
You can't take the
CRISPR.
You can't take the
Cas9.
That's right. And that was sort of the last level that struck me on this thing was designer babies.
Yep.
You've got a lot wrapped up in this, Gons. Yeah, designer baby. I mean, it is pretty much around the corner. You were talking about the story you told last episode about your brother-in-law who came to you and was like, I don't know, man. It's getting really future-y around here.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. I have been thinking about that story ever since you told it. I mean, it's hilarious, but it just is the state of the average normie right now.
Yeah.
You can tell they are just starting to look around and be like, everything snuck up on them, you know? Listeners of this show, nothing snuck up on them. We've been talking about all this stuff for 10 years.
Yeah.
But the normies who have just been doing as they're told and not paying attention, just living their lives, it's all catching up to them. And, that's where we're at with designer babies. I mean, they have been talking about designer babies for almost 2 decades now. And as far as our lifetime goes, we are right around the corner from, have that third kid, because for a mere $5,000, we can guarantee you a boy.
And your happiness, not just a boy, but a boy.
Exactly.
And your
You're
happiness.
Not exactly. This is the type of research that is in the brochure for CRISPRizing your designer baby.
Yeah.
Meaning, hey, here's the thing. You got 2 girls, okay, and you're going to go for it. That's okay. Do you want another girl? Because science shows that the mother is depressed for 10 years after having another girl. For $5,000, we can go ahead and just start turning the knobs. We can turn the knobs. We can press the buttons. We can get you that boy that you've always wanted.
I'm pretty certain that there's a mom listening right now who has 3 daughters who is completely in disagreement with this notion that you have 3 daughters and you are depressed for 10 years.
Totally. Let me be clear. Yes, I know. I was having some inner cringe that somebody might be listening, sitting there. They're gathered around the podcast radio, sitting
depressed, Mama?
in the living room.
Hate me?
The 3 daughters knitting and playing blocks and studying science and engineering, ladies. And I hear some googly-eyed idiot saying that their mom is very sad about it. No, this is obviously not everybody. But, I think it describes a very specific situation where they have 2 daughters and they specifically are trying to have a boy. Mm-hmm. That's kind of the situation that the people in this study were in, and the actual situation that was studied. But a lot of people don't really care very much what's going to pop out.
Wow. I was going to say that having 3 children, the wife actually wanted 3 girls. So and we got it. The third one was a boy. So there you go.
There you go.
And now that I think about it, my mother's side, she has 3 sisters. So she's one of 4 daughters, no sons.
Yeah.
And then, so my grandpa had a stroke, but
it's all females. It's all females on my mom's side as well.
Yeah, women rule. So I would say that the study may be very specific to. Is it like the UK or is it worldwide or?
That's a good question. I don't think it's stipulated. It didn't stipulate in the
London
article.
School of Economics. So I mean, I'm sure it was mostly based there, but you never know. Do
they even have 34,000 people in the UK?
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have more than 34,000 people in the UK.
Yeah, I'm looking up this. I'm looking up the study right
maybe
now.
Maybe the London School of Economics that doesn't have that many people, but maybe the town near it. UK, their population's a lot more than 34,000. Basil. But,
yeah, of course, I know.
Yeah, so there you go. Have fun. I'm sure
climate boiling. It might not be more than 34,000 outside of London. Because, the UK is pretty much, London has like 10 million people, and then it's pretty much all sheep outside of London.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Just kidding. That's UK one way to get a bunch of, oi, what did he say? And I just keep digging that hole. Keep digging that hole.
All right. Well, let's thank some producer. Actually, let's thank some producers. We're going to start off with a speak pipe.
Yay!
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com and look for a green tab on the right side or the bottom of your screen. It'll give you a little pop-up that allows you to record an audio message of up to 90 seconds. Send that to us, and we'll play it if it's appropriate. We have 2 messages today. The first one is from Eyes to See for Me.
Fellow producer Canary BB stoked my recall as I give credit to the Lord for this thought, but he made the comment about blocking out the sun being a screen in the sky, which prompted this thought for me. If we're trying to, quote unquote, lower the temperature by blocking out the sun, well, doesn't that fly in the face of the increasing temperature that will result because we're also blocking out the moon? Just food for thought. I'm wondering what the rest of you think.
We got a flat earther, everybody. Get him! Get him! Yeah, no, the cold moonlight thing freaks me out still. I've talked about it before, but I went ahead and did that cold moon experiment myself. The moon is cold, folks. Moonlight is cold light. I'm just saying, get yourself a laser thermometer. You can dial in that experiment in any way you want. And if you get a different result, you let me know, because I could not design an experiment that showed that moonlight was not colder than moon shadow. Yeah, good question.
Very weird.
Maybe that will answer the question for it. It'll change the paradigm, the global paradigm about the shape of the earth. They're like, yeah, Bill Gates. Here's a storyline for you. Bill Gates gets government funding, actively chemtrails, sprays a bunch of plastic into the air, does it, blocks the rays from the sun, saves the earth from global warming. But then, boom, the global cooling coming from the moon, we all turn in. It's like we're all in a little pressure cooker or crock pot or something. We all boil, we all die. And then Elon has to come by and say, I will free the moon. I will free the moon because the moon light is cold, and he will launch a rocket that will disperse the chemtrails, and then everybody on Earth changes their paradigm to the flat Earth paradigm. It's a new era, folks. Flat Earth forever.
That L1, that's not beyond the moon, correct? That layer that allegedly that the film would be at, or LS1?
Oh, good question.
I think
I'd have to look.
I think in the heliocentric model, the film would still be closer to Earth than it wouldn't be like beyond the moon. I don't think
it would be really hard to get stuff beyond the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and look at that guy's literature.
Yeah. Why don't they tether one part of it to the moon? You know.
Why not use the moon as a little anchor for your sky kite?
Thank you, Eyes to See for Me, for that thought-provoking message. We have another thought-provoking message from Elder Silly Goose Dave.
Hey guys, this is Elder Silly Goose Dave. This message is for Gonzo and the Spiceman Baz. Ancient Chinese saying, better to podcast before swine than to cast your pod before swine. But hopefully, either way, you plant a biblical type seed. Thank you very much.
You know,
silly Goose Dave, you know, when you sent your first message, I wasn't so sure. I wasn't so sure what was going on here, but you're a good goose, Silly Goose Dave.
He must be from like the East Coast. He's got that
you.
East Coast thing where you can't tell if they're joking or if they're being serious, and you're like, are you yelling at us or are you cracking jokes with us? I can't tell.
Yeah,
I think we're starting to feel.
It's hard to tell.
Starting to feel.
I think we're starting to win over old Silly Goose Dave. We finally got him.
All right.
Thanks,
you very
Dave.
much for that. Elder Silly Goose Dave. I think there's a different name every time, but consistently Dave. Thank you very much. All right. Let's do some art and some audio production. Those people who come in, thanking those people who come in with their talent, help us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. We're going to start off with audio production.
Audio production.
All right, we have a couple pieces here. Actually, one of audio, one of art. And this first one is from Marty B. And Marty B, I've been trying to find the Marty B jingle, the one that does that. I just cannot find it. I don't know what happened to it. Huh? Yeah, it's just gone missing.
Well, I can do it a cappella.
Yeah, please.
It's time for a Marty B jingle.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Yeah, there was a part where it goes or something after that, but it's yeah. Marty B note here has note. I know it's tomorrow, but since you won't be on, would you play Black Cat Appreciation Day? Also, would you play Great Reset at the end of the show? We'll gladly do that for you, Marty B.
Yeah.
But here's the Black Cat Appreciation Day jingle.
Black Cat Appreciation Day.
That's on. Is that on the Canary Cry calendar that day? I seem to remember that.
Yeah, I got to put that calendar back up. Need to fix the office, but yes, thank you very much, Marty B. And yeah, we'll be happy to play the Great Reset at the end of today's episode. Let's do art.
One art, please.
And we literally have one art from Sir Dove.
One art, please, from Dove.
Literally. It's the art that the viewers have been watching the entire show.
Yeah.
I got a note from Dove here that says, "Peace. For today's artwork, I made another thumbnail duo illustration. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep praying for Ian's. Thank you, Sir Dove." And yes, we have another thumbnail art with it's based on cardinals, is what it is. I might need some reminding as to some of these things, but it's you and I, Gons. You got Gons on the right-hand side, dressed up like a cardinal from the Catholic Church. He's got a big blingy, dangly necklace here that has the Canary Cry Producers logo on it. You're holding your hat. You've got your cardinal shawl, your cardinal hat. And on the left-hand side, we've got another cardinal. Googly-eyed canary man is wearing a mascot suit, a full mascot suit of Stanford basketball. Are they the Cardinals?
Yes, they are. The Cardinal.
Okay.
Singular,
the Stanford Cardinal. Oh, one Cardinal. That's me. And holding the big angry sports bird head under my arm. Got my finger in the air for victory or something. My jersey is number 33, of course. Yeah. And we're standing in front of the sign for Stanford University.
That's right.
I am assuming.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Stanford.
The reference is me wailing on the idea that the Stanford is everywhere. You got the UK guy.
They're taking over the world.
They're taking over, right?
Sinister.
Yeah, and they're the Cardinals. So I thought, I made the parallel to the Vatican. The Cardinals are one below the Pope there, and they're all over the place.
Right.
They're the ones that scatter around and spread the message. So in a similar fashion, I thought, hey, maybe they're doing a Vatican 2.0 type deal, but instead of the Catholic Church, it's the scientific dictatorship, and they have their own university pumping out people to penetrate cabinets and so forth. And also,
exactly
the parallel. Actually, I think this cardinal looks like the Arizona Cardinals cardinal. But
you're talking about my mascot.
Your
suit?
mascot, yeah, which is hilarious because you're a canary.
I'm a canary in a Cardinals outfit. It's very fun.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. Okay, we do have a microfiction.
Microfiction. Microfiction.
And
got a couple actually.
Oh, we do. Do we have Rung Smash today?
Yep, Rung Smash came in. Bursting back through the door, he drops his mask, revealing a clean-shaven young man with short black hair. He sprints down the passage from the unholy center of the dark cathedral, fueled by the sound of shrieks and the pounding of mechanical paws.
Stanford.
I was going to say, the connections never end. Thank you very much, Runk Smash. Glad to have you back.
And we have one from Stefan.
Steven!
Huge Pharma responded to an HHS RFP for an AI-controlled robot for hospice facilities, designed to relieve nurses of the duty of administering and monitoring morphine IVs. Hospice patients.
The live audience missed part of that because you cut out, unfortunately. But,
oh, no.
Yeah.
Sorry, live audience.
Okay.
You have to catch the podcast.
Yep. And that's based on a story from Euronews. World's first mass-produced humanoid robots to tackle labor shortages amid aging population. And yeah.
Yes.
And it's got the quote, Kamala Harris. Is this part of the thing? It was all part of the thing. Kamala Harris saying, when we invest in clean energy, electric vehicles, and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water. Yeah, we covered that flub.
The link that he sent here, the mass-produced robots, we've done this for a Flippy update before. It's the GR1.
Right.
And in fact, in the running for today's Flippy update was another story on GR1. So GR1 is the army of 20 million robots that's going to march down the streets and take over. But first, they're going to take care of our elderly and give them morphine.
Oh, good. That's
all right.
The way to do it.
Well, that's that, folks. Thank you to our producers who are making this show happen. We couldn't do it without you. Coming in with your time, your talent, or your treasure. If you, dear listener, are a creative person, you want to make something for the show, go to canarycry.art. We had some people do some emailing of art recently, and we are still teaching people. If you go to canarycry.art, that is the way to get the art on the show. You can upload it there. While you're at it, if you have an article that you'd like us to look at, consider to be on the show, you can go to canarycry.report to tell us about that. And other than that, Gons, I think it's time. It's time for the Nephilim.
Nephilim update. Nephilim update. Nephilim update.
This is coming from MSN.com mirroring news. That's KNEWZ News. Headline here. Legendary Bigfoot hunter who believed Sasquatches were fallen angels found dead. An author known for his research into Bigfoot has died, but not at the hands of the mysterious beast. News.com is reporting Scott Carpenter was the victim of a brain aneurysm Saturday, August 5th. The news was posted on the Sasquatch Chronicles Facebook page and blog the following day. Quote, Scott was someone that laughed at people who believed Bigfoot existed and probably thought someone should be institutionalized when claiming they have seen one. The blog post by Tony Merkel says, quote, all that stopped one day while fishing and encountering a Bigfoot himself, end quote. Carpenter, 59, became so interested in Bigfoot that he went into woods, quote, with cameras strapped to his body to catch as many video hours as possible to increase his chance of catching something on film, end quote. The tribute continued. Britain's Daily Star tabloid said Carpenter considered Sasquatch a fallen angel. He based that on the biblical book of Genesis, where, according to one paraphrase, Nephilim giants had intercourse with the daughters of men and had children born to them, end quote. Now.
What? Wait a second.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Now, this is
MSN.
a common thing where the Nephilim, the giants themselves, and the fallen angels are sort of interchanged. Mixed up, interchanged, or just considered all one thing. And there are people who think the Nephilim were the fallen angels, but
they're wrong.
Clear that it's the offspring of the Bnei Ha-Elohim, or the Watchers, and the daughters of men that produce the giants, the Nephilim. So I think this is more news.com, maybe not knowing all the ins and outs of the Genesis 6 idea, but hey, at least they're trying.
Or maybe he had that written on his blog post.
Oh, maybe he just had it
maybe
wrong.
Old Scott had it mixed up.
Carpenter's search was not focused on western states, which are often associated with Bigfoot, but East Tennessee. He reportedly found more than giant hairy creatures there. Quote, he's had dogman encounters, little people encounters, and portal sightings, end quote, the blog post added. Now, if he had a camera strapped to him that much, do we have footage of the dogman and little people and portals?
They did hyperlink the dog man.
They did.
Let's see. That goes to man who spent $14K to transform himself into Taco. The border collie steps out first ever walk in public. It's the Japanese guy who made the dog
man.
suit. What? Okay, so they're just messing with us here.
Carpenter
little
wrote a book.
People encounters. Yeah. I mean, you can encounter little people if you want.
Yeah,
they're around. They're humans, just like you and I.
Sprouts, yeah. Carpenter wrote a book about his 6 years of sightings called "The Nephilim Among Us," published in 2017. Amazon indicates an updated version that came out in 2019, along with his with a related book, "The Sasquatch DNA Study," with controversial genetic research. And it goes on. He talks about his YouTube channel, his obituary. He was part of the U.S. Air Force. And so thank you for your service, sir. But yeah, I mean, they're going down, man. I believe there was...
I wonder... I bet that he listened to Canary Cry. I bet he caught our Bigfoot episode.
He might have, yeah.
Because when we were doing our Bigfoot episode, I mean, when we were doing a lot of those early episodes, like, there wasn't a whole lot of people talking about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would have, if not getting it from the Canary Cry Bigfoot episode, definitely from the guest that we had on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's possible. Although I feel like there were other Bigfoot podcasts at the time, but maybe not as much. Maybe not in the context of biblical prophecy in Genesis 6.
Yeah, no. It's not that there wasn't Bigfoot podcast episodes. It was that connecting them with the Nephilim and making it a biblical connection. Right. That was very rare. It was pretty much us and the guest we had on.
Yeah.
Like maybe Derek. Maybe Derek was
Gilbert,
in on it too.
Yeah. A few others. Yeah. So there you go. Scott Carpenter passes away. Seemed like a brother. But it's tough. But it's interesting. There's a sentiment out there about how a bunch of Bigfoot researchers are passing away, and I will keep an eye on whether this is an actual trend or not. You know how people just kind of say things if a few people die, but hey, who knows? Maybe they're coming out and they're getting too close to the truth, and so some people need to be taken out. Maybe it's a hairy Nephilim themselves.
Canary Cry Radio episode 88, Bigfoot. 88. with Tommy Poland. Yes. Yeah, remember that's Canary Cry Radio, not Canary Cry News Talk, two different shows. Just search it on your podcast player there. It's Canary Cry Radio episode 88, Bigfoot with Tommy Poland. Wow, they kind of go into it here too, don't they? Huh. Okay. Well, he's hopefully he's not with Bigfoot now. Hopefully he's not trapped in some sort of between dimensions purgatory space where Nephilim are roaming. Hopefully he's in heaven. Mm-hmm. Scott.
Amen to that.
I saw its face out of the side of my eye. It was no bear.
That's a different lady being quoted there, but yeah.
I have no idea what I saw, but I'm almost certain she was female. You can say that about a lot of people today. Big. The creature seemed to leave once it realized the woman had a sleeping child in her hands. I have no idea what I saw, but I'm almost certain she was a female, the woman added. Oh, goodness gracious. We're having fun. All right, Gonz, you got anything else?
I think that's it.
All right.
About does it.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, making this show happen. We appreciate it very much. And thank you to our producers, all of the producers, that elite squadron of people who, in the middle of the month, said, someday, Canary Cry Newstalk will stop bringing value and will disappear forever. But today is not that day. I will produce. And they did. So thank you very much. They did it with their time, their talent, or their treasures. And I want to thank some people who gave us their time to help us keep this thing rolling, starting with the Clippies.
Clippy. Clippy on those videos. Thanks.
Thanks. That's right, Clippies. Go follow the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey. Go check it out. It's tasty and convenient. Bite-sized pieces of the show. It's good for you. And thank you to the Timestampers.
Timestampers.
Timestamp. It's hard work. Timestamp.
Yeah, and thank you. Ooh, look at this. Thank you to producer Morgan E. for doing the timestamps for episode 655. Thank you very much, Morgan E. We still have the call out there. If you would like to help the timestampers, we do need one more timestamper. We had some retirement in the department, and we need to bring in some new blood. So if you've been enjoying the show, getting value from the show, wondering how you could help out, how could you possibly help out the best podcast in the metaverse? Well, you can help us with timestamps. That'd be very convenient for us. You can send an email to canarycryradio@gmail.com if you want to volunteer. Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to Kira Contrite Spirit and Irene for sending in articles for this episode. Thank you, Clank, for well, you know what you did. And other than that, folks, just share the show. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it in any way you like. You can do it the normal ways, like posting it on social media or rolling it up and stuffing it into a bottle and throwing it into the ocean. You can, but you can, a lot of people don't like doing it the normal way. They want to express themselves. They want to feel alive for once, enough of this culture of mediocrity, this culture of comfort and complacency. They want to live. They want to feel alive. And for those who want to live a life of courage, you can become a Bigfoot hunter. But here's the thing. Don't just hunt Bigfoots for nothing. Go out there with a purpose. You're a Bigfoot activist. And for too long have incorrect, frankly, racist ideas about Bigfoot gone unchallenged. And it's time for us to rise up, Canarians. Stand up for something that matters. And what matters is that Bigfoot is not descended from Nephilim giants who bred with the women, human women. I was scrolling. No! Bigfoot is Nephilim. Bigfoot is descended from the Watchers watching women. At least I think it was a woman. And that's where Bigfoot came from, and it's about time that we go find her and bring her to justice for her crimes. Lost the plot.
Sue the government.
Completely
Sue the
lost
government.
plot.
Sue the government.
The Bigfoot babies on their 5th birthday will sue the government. That would have been a way easier track to take. That's right, everybody. Go out there, get your 5-year-olds to sue the government, and get Canary Cry News Talk to be the nationally recognized treasure that it is. You can do it that way. You can do it any way you want. You don't have to do it any way except for just do it, okay? We like to call it rattling cages. But if you need any more instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
Come on.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
Right, just ask Noah. Guns, any last words?
No, I can't think of anything. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Stay cool.
Thank you. You're welcome. Stay cool. Yeah, I thought I had something to say here at the end. I feel like I'm a little airheaded today. It's hard to think things. You know, sometimes you want to think a thing and it's hard to think a thing. Yeah. You think a different thing and you're like, I want to think the thing I want to think. But the thing is something else. I don't know. I don't know. It looked like a woman. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Dinner did the ordering. There was a delicious mushroom dish. Delicious mushroom dish. I was not aware that these mushrooms had hallucinogenic properties. I learned that later. I can tell you, Red, that if the mushrooms are cooked properly, which I'm sure they were at this very good restaurant, that they have no impact. But all of us enjoyed the mushroom. All of us enjoyed the mushroom. All of us enjoyed the mushrooms, the restaurant, and none of us felt any ill effects.
Shannon Yellen, she won't stop talking.
At that time, you were without Christ. Aliens from Commonwealth of Israel, strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope without God in the world. At that time, you were without Christ. Aliens from Commonwealth of Israel, strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope without God in the world. But now in Christ, he was sometimes far off, all late night, by the blood of Christ. He is our peace, who's made both one, has broken down the middle wall between us. He is our peace, who's made both one, has broken down the middle wall between us. He's got the solutions for the problems that he created. So step right up for the great reset. for the Great Reset. Hiding in the shadows, he's always behind the scenes. He's pulling on the purse string, he's got control of everything. He's got the solutions to the problems that he created. So step right up for the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. He serves his master with fervor. He's a Luciferian. He's bound up and determined to bring us to an end. It's the final solution. Destroy the human race. So walk right up to the Great Reset. To the Great Reset. The Great Reset. There's only one way out to the door, but you'll need the code. 10, 5, 19, 21, 19. Or you can step right up for the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. For the Great Reset. For the Great Reset.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on, ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry awaits. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. Oh, the world's changing every day, each and every way you turn, there's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives, and nice to see his glory shining like the sun. Run the race until it's done, come on everyone. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away.
Circle back, but I'll have to circle back. Circle back, but I'll have to circle back.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
But I'll have to circle back. I'm happy to circle back. I'll have to just circle back with you. We can circle back on that one. Circle back with you. It's an interesting question, but we'll circle back.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
People, I'll keep you safe and warm. In my people's zoo. I'll keep you safe and warm now. In my people's zoo. You, yeah, you. In my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on. Personal choice.
They love killing
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
Canary cry support.